kind of nectarine, rich without being weighty, and there's no oak in this wine whatsoever. So this is a perfect wintertime white wine. You know, Viognier, one of my favorites, and people that you guys just went up to a winery this past weekend, right? These guys, did they have Viognier up there at all? Or
we did a little bit of Viognier. Actually, Petit Mansing was very
Petit Mansing and Gross Mansing. I see a lot of the winemakers are in Surrey County are talking about that. But Viognier permeates throughout North Carolina. I'm glad they're making dry versions, but ironically, even though it's a French varietal, there is more Viognier grown in Australia than anywhere else in the entire world. So they're really have taken form to this. So again, don't sleep on this white wine, guys. Unctuousness, weight, without being weighty, with no oak whatsoever. So,
and I just want to chime in here. I guess I didn't click the YouTube. It's now live on YouTube. So I know some people like to put the YouTube up and also watch on Facebook. So now it is live on both. So sorry about that. And those for tuning into YouTube right now, sorry. But you're like, wait a minute, it's just kind of started. It didn't have an entrance. And that's why. So
we can upload the first wine we talked about, the Twin Islands. But yeah, this is a fantastic little wine. $11, guys.
So, it gets it down with a 20% off to $8.80.
That's
so $8.80 on this Viognier.
Sub $10 for the oldest family-owned winery. I mean, guys. Oh, and by the way, we've done Gigal on the show before, and we've talked about how they have their own cooper. Yalumba has their own cooper, so they're really one of the few wineries like Gigal that have their own cooper. I mean, which is to say they actually make their own barrels, which is just fantastic.
Really cool.
This sees no time in oak, but just a massive undertaking from not only a brand setter, but really one of those brand ambassadors that you really can't talk about Australia or the history of Australia without talking about Yalumba. I mean, they really are that important.
And it's such a cool $8.80. So with your tax, it's probably $9 a bottle. It's just a yummy Viognier. And I know we sold cases of this.
Stone fruit, apricot, like I said, peachy. That's what I love about it. It's like peach with like a little bit of white peppercorn on top. That's what I love about that.
Lots of sales on that. So at $8.80. I mean, again, I told you first of all, I
have more of that one. I mean, we haven't gotten to anything that we have.
Well, this is going to be our first one.
Yeah, we haven't got any limited inventory. So the first two, including the one we just talked about, we have plenty of. Go crazy, break the bank with these guys at $9. Order a case because, guys, I have cases literally of the Twin Islands and the Yalumba. But speaking something that we do not have cases of is the next wine. So rapid fire.
Yes. So we're going to go straight on to Oregon and talk a little Chardonnay. This is something I have 8 bottles of, not a lot, but we decided, hey, it sold well when we did it back in months ago. And
like, it was like a reserve tier wine club or something? Or
no. So we did it on Virtual Vines.
We did Virtual Vines.
We did it on Virtual Vines. Yeah, we did it on Virtual Vines. You didn't have a lot to begin with. Now he doesn't have any more. I can't get any more. And so it's down to the 8 bottles in the shop. And so that is the Adelheim Striking Claim Chardonnay. And I do know this is one of Tanya's favorites. So if it doesn't sell out, I know I will be buying a bottle of that.
What are we cracking open?
We're going to get to the reds and crack open the reds.
Are we cracking open one of the ones you have? Tanya's like,
I forgot to chill any of the whites, so we're just going to crack and open.
Does Vanna have a personal account that just go loaded rate where she can just
pretty much. Let's talk about this one.
Just a touch about it on it, and you've seen suppliers come in and out of the shop and taste from Oregon, and really one of the varietals that all the Oregonian winemakers are really high on right now, very bullish on, is Chardonnay. Because they've really planted the right varietals, be it the Dijon or Montpellier clones that they brought over from Burgundy in France. Some of the first Chardonnay clones were the Wente clones, which I know we've talked about on the show before, which are great for Carneros and Russian River, even places like Monterey, which actually are relatively warm compared to places like Newburgh and McMinnville and Dundee Hills, which are all in that northern part of Willamette Valley, which I encourage anyone, if you're out there, please go see Adelsheim. They're definitely one of the we're really, talk about founding members. They really are, without the being hyperbolic. I mean, less than 50 years being around. David Irie in the late 60s. David Adelsheim came right behind him in 1970. I think he was the 7th bonded winery in the entire state. And so the stake and claim Chardonnay is not only to honor their roots, but also David was the first to bring the Dijon clones back over in the mid 80s that are now really coming into maturity. Now this new generation of winemakers in Oregon are really, as I said, very high on, very bullish on, because they're finding not only the correct varietal types, the Dijon clones, but also these kind of cool tucked away nooks and crannies and whatnot. So really Pinot Gris, which is great. They're getting maybe $15-20 retail for. The Chardonnay, often cases are making in more that Montrachet style, where typically sees no oak, but some in concrete eggs, some in barrels, albeit mostly neutral, some new. So obviously the time at the winery is a little bit more extensive. So the wine itself, you go in that reserve tier pricing sometimes. Yeah. So this is like breaking ground with the Pinot Noir stake and claim. Really honors not only their heritage, as I said, but some of the first varietals that were planted in the Dijon clones that David brought up, who's sort of the winemaker emeritus there now. 8 bottles left, guys. I know this isn't the cheapest Chardonnay. A lot of people's Chardonnay budget's under $20, but guys, this is
20% off is going to get it down to $31.20. So you are saving quite a bit tonight on that.
Drinking right now, but you can totally hold on this next 3-5 years.
It is a 2017.
Better and better. Oh man. I think as we said,
2017.
Vanna's got her eye on this already, you know, and just wanting to snag this. But again, Adelsheim really is one of the tried and true makers out there. Danny has 8 bottles left. I think,
and I'm sure at some point in the springtime we'll get the next vintage.
It was the third vintage they've ever made of that one, third or second vintage, I believe. Yeah, we'll probably get a little bit more, but we just don't get a lot of that wine. It's usually for on-premise, higher-end bottle pours. No such thing as those anymore. So again, we were able to procure a little bit. So, but again, just even at $31, I know it's not the cheapest Chardonnay, but that's a steal for everything that goes into it. So
it is a steal. All right, now we're going to get into what it would be Tanya's category, which is rosés, and these were 2 of her favorite rosés that we did on the show. Also sold very well in the shop. So first, we're going to go with a little Italian rosé made with Pinot Grigio. That is the Adams. Right there, the Adams Pinot Grigio.
Cameras get you every time, right?
Yeah, the backwards cameras get you every time. So this actually, I'll tell you, it's still selling well.
$39.
This is not $39. So, but this
we have more than 8 bottles of this.
Yes, we do. And I will tell you that this is still selling well. It was just, I'm not even 3 weeks ago. We sold a whole case of it. So it drinks great. It's refreshing. It's crisp. It's got nice little strawberry notes on it. And if you're looking for something that's a little different in the rosé category, just to mix it up, this is it. We have it down to $20 or on the shelf at $20 minus your discount tonight would be $16. So $16, a great little price on this.
Only 30 wineries do a true Ramato, which is this little verbiage that you'll see on the back, not the guy that does Everyone Loves Raymond or whatever that guy's name is.
Oh, Ray Romano?
Yeah, Ray Romano.
It's not Ray Romano.
It's not Dama. It's not Dama Arigato, Mr. Ramato. That's another shirt. That Dama Arigato, Mr. Ramato. Yeah, you gotta be in that club.
You gotta be in that club.
So actually, Danny, I think you were on this call with us when we acquired about 6 months ago some new brands, and there were some really high end wines that we got to try. And there was this fantastic master sommelier that went through all of them, and he explained them in way more detail, even than I'll go into right here. But one thing you can say out of everything that we tried, not only because of the price point, but things that I was like, I can not only sell this, I'm going to drink this and give it to all my friends and family, was this Atem's Pinot Grigio and Sauvignon Blanc, which is this little tucked away corner in Friuli. And then all of a sudden they break out this rosé, and he's like, no, it's a Pinot Grigio rosé, which some of those inside people know, obviously red grapes, but there's things like Pinot Grigio that you can make a skin contact wine with, things like that. But there's only a few wineries that can say true Ramato because it has to be from this area, from Pinot Grigio. So they do a traditional white, as it were, Pinot Grigio, which is delicious, but interesting of the lot because the skin contacts and the natural and organic wines are obviously very big and hot right now. Well, this checks all those bases, and this winery's been around for over a millennia. So,
yeah, and it's delicious because we got
very
the
Provençal in style.
It's beautiful color.
It's the light color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
almost like a little salmon, like a little just a nice little pink salmon in there.
And this was one of Tanya's favorites, and so we had to put it in the show. But it also sold very, very well when we did it. So get
so pretty.
Yeah, and get it while it's hot, and yeah, it's I'm at that price, getting it down that low, $16 a bottle. I definitely grab it.
And it's year round. It's one of those few year round wines where I think when the rosé revolution started a few years ago, when I won't say started, but really people that wanted rosé year round, we carried a few that were okay. And now a lot of these suppliers are going, okay, well, you mean we need to make a little bit more rosé. So now you're finding fantastic producers and great sources for some fantastic rosé that you don't have to just source in your classic areas that, sure, some are just going to make 2 or 3 months worth, but with this Atoms, we have year round. So again, that's another one, guys, that they'll have year round in the shop, but they will not have year round at that price point.
Yeah.
So make sure you take advantage of the show.
And I will say that of everything we've done so far, it was a porch pounder.
Yeah.
These are all porch pounders that we've done so far.
Yeah. When you get the fire emoji going.
Yeah, and I need to get the fire emoji. I'll get that done next week. And we'll get into the pit pounders. But right now it's a porch pounder, and all 5 of these that we started with were definitely in that porch pounder category. We sold cases of this stuff, and this was the hidden little gem in our celebrity wine tasting that we did, and this was from Cameron Diaz. So those folks, get ready. You're ready to see the Cameron Diaz Rosé, the Avalon, and this, folks, was delicious. And we have been selling this stuff like crazy in the shop. I know several of you guys are fans, and you tell everybody when you're in the shop that you're fans of this rosé, and we keep on selling through it and keep on selling through it. So thank you for loving this. And I figured let's put this in the show because of the rosés, those were the 2 that saw the most love that I actually could still get. I know we had Hito, which was a huge hit.
Yeah.
We did the a couple of the other ones that we just blew through them.
Yeah.
Pool Boy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't get them.
Day Allen cans.
I can't get any of them. So the thought was like, I know rosé is such a hot.
Rosato. That was another Dumbo Arigato here today. Gone.
Yep. Yeah. So the thought was, hey, we can still get a couple of this. Let's put the Avalon in, and man, this is yummy and delicious. Well, and I know some of you guys that are drinking it. You can put it in the comments what you thought of it, because definitely, Barb already said it. Yep, there it is. Let's show you. Barb's already yippee. I love the Avalon.
And what's some of you guys? What's some of you guys' favorites in 2020? I know we're doing lots of the tried and true, I think, favorites and sales wise at least, but what are you guys drinking on tonight would be fantastic. But the funny thing about the Avalon wines, it's not the cheapest rosé out there. I mean, again, you can go into a Harris Teeter or Lowe's, even other wine shops, and find maybe a $15 closeout 2017 rosé they're trying to get rid of or whatever else. But Cameron Diaz, who I was, really honored enough to be I can say I was on a Zoom call with Cameron Diaz, and she did say open up for questions.
I'm only 2 degrees from Cameron Diaz.
Only 2 degrees. I was because at first I didn't realize it was her brand, honestly, and I know my brand manager is saying, she's like, TC, why don't you do your homework? But I get on the Zoom call in the parking lot, just doing something else, and all of a sudden I hear this voice that's very familiar to me, that we've all heard for the past 20 years, right from The Mask all the way up to Charlie's Angels Part, whatever, right?
Yes.
And then I look down and I'm like, what? That's Cameron Diaz, And she proceeds to tell me not only, how, wine is a passion for her, but, what she wants to do is she's finding these sources over in Europe that are all either organically farmed, biodynamically farmed, or otherwise they find other alternative methods where they don't even have to use anything, which there are actually some things like even the spraying of sulfur, which you can do to be organic. So she tries to find some of the best sources. So again, I guess the point I'm trying to make is, she even said in the call, hey, I'm not trying to make the cheapest rosé and just put my name on it. In addition to making something that I want to be behind, this is something that we're not going to be very wordy on the bottle, put all the different varietals and different AVAs. I mean, I know you guys tune in to the show to hear about that. But she says, hey, when I and my girlfriends, shop for wine, we want to see, basically what it tastes like. But what are these things that are important to us? So again, organically grown, sustainably farmed, things like that were all very important to her and her partner Catherine. And
I can't remember when we showcased this one before, and we've had a few people ask. They were thinking the name Aveline could be her daughter's name, and I said no because her daughter's name was like Radix or something. Right. Do you remember on the call?
Yeah. So she said that they were looking for a different name, and they actually looked at a baby book of that year. And that one, don't quote me, but it's obviously a female name. But since it was two female partners, but she said it meant basically it's like strength and like serenity or something like that. So it's like Aveline is basically is how she said it. And I want to say it's a French derivation or obviously Latin before that. But you guys Google it, look it up. But I believe it was something to do with obviously the strong and femininity kind of combined with that. And so she does a white wine, a red wine, and the rosé. They're all line price. But as Danny said, the rosé is selling 2 to 1. And we're getting more brands. I've been told 2021. I know Cameron Diaz, huge social media presence. I think I saw her watching the ball drop with Cohen and Andy and all that and all those guys. And she talked a little bit about Avalon. So I'm like, yeah, shout out. But she was drinking the sparkling, which I know we're trying to get. But in the meantime, we can drink some other great goodies.
So as soon as the sparkling come in, folks, it's going to be on Virtual Vines. As soon as the sparkling
we're just dropping it.
We're going to
be.
It
might even be the first. I'll just be like, hey, Wine Club, you guys will be the first one in the triad, or maybe like as soon as it lands, we'll just bring it in and say you guys pick up your Aveline. And so basically, she talked about. Someone did ask about them being in the stateside, sourcing stateside, and she said she would love to eventually, but for right now, the contracts that they're finding in Spain, in Portugal, and France, really the bang for the buck and what they're trying to find are some of the best. So that's really was the most important to them. No artificial flavors, vegan friendly, which we've talked about on the show before. So again, no mucking of different chemical or fish components or whites of eggs and things like that, which happen. But basically, it's just a fun rosé. And again, I know it's to some it might be another celebrity wine, but for those of you that have been in the shop, I know in the comment section you've already talked about it. But hey, this is a rosé people come back and ask for because it's beautiful.
It's delicious. It's yummy, and I'm telling you, at that price, you're better put a couple in the cart. Now it's time. Yeah, we're gonna move that. That's right there. That's our next one.
Should we open one of them?
Not that one. We'll open the next one. We'll open the next one.
Okay.
You're open.
Okay.
Don't open.
I was gonna say. I think.
Don't open, TC.
I think I may have maybe a case more of that one.
Maybe. I know. I have 13 bottles. 13 bottles. So this is where we're at with this one.
This whole show's like a mirage for me and TC. Like we can't get any wine.
No. I'm getting cotton mouth over here. I'm just getting dry over here.
This is the País Viejo. That is the grape. Very much like a Pinot Noir. Yeah, go ahead. Open up the next one. This was a huge hit. We actually went through 6 cases of this.
That's about all we had.
It's about all you had. So I literally I ended up just buying the rest of it at the time. And I think he got the next vintage, and that's pretty much all gone.
Well, we don't get a lot of this wine. I mean, because this comes from literally 100-year-old vines. I won't go and talk ad nauseum about old vines. But we know old vines make the best wine. I think somewhere in there lies another T-shirt somewhere about old vines. But we talked about that. And Spain, certainly for the buck, offers that. But South America, guys, I mean, we've not only Malbec, we've done some Malbec. We just did, or you guys just did, Luigi Bosco, which is a fantastic Cabernet from Argentina, but Chile. J. Buson, which is a fantastic little third-generation winery right outside of Santiago in the Mall Valley. They do traditional varietals, Cabernet, Sauvignon, Merlot. They actually do a little bit of Chardonnay. They do some Sauvignon Blanc, but they also do a little bit of País. And País is this varietal that was brought over by Spanish conquistadors in the 1500s, essentially. Ungrafted, old world fruit from, some say Spain, some say the northern Italy region, but essentially it's been growing and has been growing in Chile untouched for centuries now. So Viejo essentially means old vine or older. So País Viejo is the name of this wine from a little winery called J. Buchon. which obviously, as the name would imply, has French ties to them, and again, they do fantastic Bordeaux varietals. But everything they do, this is the fun one of the bunch, because, as Danny said, this is for your Pinot Noir lovers, for you Beaujolais lovers, for you light Sangio Chianti Classico drinkers, for you light Merlot drinkers, or maybe even like the light Zin. I mean, maybe there's so many arrays of red that people would love this wine. A little bit of chill on this wine as well. What do you think?
Yeah, no, when we did it, it was a hit. It's light, it's refreshing. It's for a red that you really haven't heard of.
Only 1,000 cases imported, guys. We actually get this from a company called Vine Connections, which we get the La Posta, the Tikal, which I know early on you guys.
We need to do a Tikal. We need to do a Tikal. We'll do a Tikal soon too.
Tikal and the Luca wines. But this comes from the same company. And the one, and as an aside, I won't get too much on the rabbit hole, but we had one of the suppliers come in town. This kind of skinny guy. But he not only does marathons, which are hard enough, 25 miles. He does what they call extreme marathons, which are 100 miles. And he talked about, well, let me not go in detail, but chafing and things like the things that you're like, what? Your body's saying stop running. Like, don't do that anymore. But anyway, he's from Vine Connections. We had a little luncheon over at Josephine's to show you how long ago this was. Wow, yeah. I know, shout out to old school Josephine's, right? But he was talking about all the different suppliers. And when he's talking about Jay Bouchon, essentially, I was just like, man, I cannot wait to sell enough Vine Connection stuff and go on a trip, because, and we've had a few people do it, but I've always loved not only everything they've imported from the La Posta wines to, like I said, the Tikal wines. Oh my God. Casa Silva is another one. I'm going to, brain fart here. Boya is another one, but several other brands that we carry. But, again, not to keep the harking on at one point. This is it's a beautiful wine. It's silky, it's smooth, it's finesseful. It's hard not to love this wine. Yeah. And at the price point at $20, $16
$16
with a discount, guys. Again, I think what vintage is this one? 18. I think I'd have to double check. I know they go quick on this wine, so because it doesn't see any oak. I might have some of the 19, but again, when we have this wine, people like the loaded grape around the state buy it up quickly. I mean, they do a show or they say, hey, Pais Viejos in, because it's not inexpensive, but it's not expensive for 100-year-old vines.
No,
right?
For 100-year-old vines, it tastes yummy, and I know. And I'll tell you that if it doesn't sell out, I know somebody I'm going to send a text message to.
It's gone.
It's going to be gone because they bought at least 2 cases of it over the last couple of months. So that would probably, my last 13 bottles will definitely be gone. So get on it now. Get it while it's hot. And again, at what would be $16 a bottle. So all you do,
a case about 15.
I have 12 bottles. I have 13 bottles. I have 13 bottles, including this one. That's why you couldn't open it.
Damn it.
So just be sure when you use this wine, to check out, use that virtual 20 in the checkout code to get your discount tonight on all the wines. This is
see my face right through it almost. I know I'm getting a little like TC, you're getting a little weird here, but seriously, I love the color of that wine.
I know we're 30 minutes in, and we are literally 6 wines out of 20 in. So we are moving along. Rapid fire.
We need to have like a little like
We need to have a little timer.
And like Vanna,
I was
whenever
trying
we saw
to
the
do
wine,
that.
Vanna's was like, it's just like yeehaw. Like whenever we saw the wine, like a yeehaw emoji or just like a.
Actually, just use the sound effect, the cracking the whip, and I can just push the button whenever I want.
Michelle asked, does it apply to your complete order? Anything that's online will count towards the 20%. So if you see other things on the website that you want to throw in, but it also includes everything tonight. So everything tonight, anything on the website. So if there's
maybe
things
some
that
past favorites of your favorites of virtual vines. I know just the other day I was talking to someone. I have a case and a half of Vatan, which is not the cheapest wine, but again, you've had some other reserve tier wines. I know, I don't know, we've done some other Napa Valley wines. I think the Lewis, and that's another wine. Again, guys, talk to these guys. We could probably get, because I want to say we have some inventory of, talk to these guys with, for these next 2 days, as Danny said, go ahead and take advantage.
Take advantage of it. Reach out to us. we'll give you that 20% over the next 2 days. Let's move on.
Let's move
We're gonna
on.
keep
That's
on moving. Actually, we have one more. Alita had to ask because I know these quantities based on
So
now.
far,
They're
everything-
based on now because
Yeah.
we did sell some earlier today. So the things that are limited quantities, they were based on the initial quantities. I made sure that those numbers were correct before we even did the show.
So far, Stake and Claim less than 12
eight bottles,
yeah.
and the PA's.
Vanna kept looking at that, so I think we'll go ahead and say 7 bottles probably of that one. Again, the Atoms Rosé, we have plenty of that. The País Viejo we just did. Again, 2018. This is a wine. It's hard to say what this wine tastes like when it ages because you drink it so fast because it's so damn delicious.
It's so good.
Why you can't hold on
it
to
is
that wine?
so good.
So moving on.
We're gonna move on.
So when we did the not too long ago, it seems like a year ago, the Thanksgiving tasting dinner, we did the Sidori Santa Barbara, right? And we've done other Sidori wines in the shop, right?
Mm-hmm. And we did this in virtual wines.
Yeah, and we've done this in virtual wines. So Vanna, what do you think about Sidori in general? You've tasted Sidori before. You like Pinot Noir. What do you think about Sidori?
Pinot Noir. It's like are we drinking this
Yeah,
now?
that's what we're drinking.
Do we need some more? Do we need to
I'm sorry.
revisit? I think we need to be reminded.
Tanya drank that so fast, it's already gone.
Through the wines so fast now, I'm like, whoa.
Well, and 18 is such a great vintage. I mean, guys, not to be like that winemaker that goes, this is my second best vintage, and people say, what's the best one? Say, oh, it's the one I just made or whatever. But this, quite frankly, guys, for the 2018 Willamette Valley specifically is just on fire, en fuego. So again, for those of you that were at the dinner, a little recap, but Adam Lee, who is really celebrating, what is it, the silver 25 years making wine since the mid 90s. And what's so fantastic about Adam is he's not this sort of over the top, how should I say, sort of bombastic kind of guy that has this over the top personality. He's almost this guy that you'd never see or you meet in the bar, and you'd almost have dinner with him because you're out of town, he's out of town. He maybe recommends a glass of wine or two, but doesn't really go off on a tangent about wine. All of a sudden, he gives you a card, and it's like, oh my God, this guy owns one of the most iconic Pinot Noir producing houses of the last 20 or so years. So anyway, Adam Lee and his wife moved out to California for greener pastures in the 90s. Did 2 barrels of wine and found out Robert Craig was staying at a local hotel. Dropped off a couple shiners. 4 months later, an editor called him back from Wine Advocate and said, Mr. Lee, when you need to submit a wine, let us know, call Tommy or Billy. But Mr. Parker wanted to say, it's one of the best Pinot Noirs he'd ever had. One of the best Pinot Noirs he'd had all year. That was like in October or something like that, because he was there for En Premiere and close to Northern California. And what was great about it is, they didn't have a winery. It was a thing that Adam went from a lot of these tried and true Pinot Noir houses that would only sell their fruit to these really high-end, top-of-the-flight Pinot Noir producers, or even Cabernet houses that wanted to do a top-flight Pinot Noir, to all of a sudden he goes, oh, Adam Lee, I'll return your call, because he got like 96 points for a wine that was just like he didn't have. And just like a wine critic or someone out there to dangle a carrot for all of us and say, call Danny or Andy and beat them up and say, I want this wine from this vintage, and say, well, good. Well, if you find it, let us know too. In the meantime, we got this other fantastic wine. So anyway, so Adam Lee, instead of making one Pinot Noir, because that's him and his wife's true love, for say $15, he literally finds these little sites, whether he either owns outright or procures, whether through longtime contract or farms himself. And he tests them, and he goes, they're so uniquely different. And if you guys ever get a chance to try more than, let's say 3 Sidoris side by side, you'll say, oh my God, these are all 3 Pinot Noir, but they're so different. I mean, yeah, they're light in tannin. Yeah, they all have that little cherry, a little of the earth kind of thing in a very generality. But in its nuanced form, when you try them, you're like, oh my God, it's almost like the difference between sweet Italian oregano and spicy Mexican oregano. Yeah, they're both oregano, but it's just, they're so vastly different. So anyway, it would be remiss for these guys to have Pinot Noir in really all the best areas on the West Coast without having Willamette Valley. This is their newest project. They started off in Southern California, as he said, in Santa Barbara, a couple hours north of Los Angeles, and now they went all the way up to Willamette Valley, and they procured some fruit right outside of Dundee Hills, which is, again, ain't cheap area to farm. Places like Antica Terra and Arterbury Maresh and even like Rex Hill make their wine out there. But fantastic wine. I mean, what do you guys think about this wine? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's let me.
This is everything that you want. I mean, just this is sophistication in a glass, is it not?
It really is. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is probably
you could drink this every single day,
every day,
every
day, every day. I know it's a little bit pricier, but folks, it sold really well when we did this.
I like the legs on it.
And we also did.
I mean, hey, spoil yourself, guys.
Right.
I mean, this is something you said 30. I don't know if you did the math. What, $30?
35,
31.50 or so.
35 minus that 20%.
It's in
$28.
Wow.
So
$30.
So right now that's cheaper than the Santa Barbara that I have on the shelf. Yeah. So I would say when you could start talking about higher end Willamette Valley, Pinot Noir,
which is even more expensive than normal California.
Yeah.
On average.
On average, it's totally more expensive, and you can get this down to $28. That's why we put it in the show, folks. That's why we put it in the show. These are the deals to take advantage to start the year off. That's why we put it in the show. Grab one or two of these bottles and put it in the cart. You're definitely saving today.
Well, Danny, to put it in baseball terms, man, you hit a home run with this one, because Danny sends me a list, and he's like, what should we do? And not only is he like, TC, this vintage is drinking fantastically, and we know Siduri is tried and true, but I came back and said, well, if you want to do that, we still have a fantastic little deal price on this specific one compared to some of the other ones. So let's go ahead, pass on the savings. Again, I know $28 is not a cheap wine, but shop the market, shop the internet, guys. Yeah. For a Pinot Noir that is 100% Pinot Noir. I hate that I have to say that, but
it is 100% Pinot Noir.
But no fake with this one. But this is from a producer that literally could just throw everything together, charge $17.99, call it a day, but they do not. This is just something that they just really want to make sure that they showcase the true varietal in its most unique form. So
now we're going over there, right? Yep. TC's going to pick our next one.
Okay.
So head on over to the loadedgrape.com to purchase any of these or put them in your cart. That's all you have to do is go over there, put it in your cart. You can check out, again, unless you're nervous about some of the ones that have lower quantity. I know, Michelle, I pulled one out of inventory for you. No problem. If it's something that you guys want to do and you want to pay cash in the shop versus do a card, just let me know in the comments. I'll pull them out of inventory, so that will happen. We could do that as well for you. And now I'll go ahead and open this one too.
Okay,
this is a great one.
Go ahead and throw the pounder. I mean, you're almost going to need to leave the pounder up, or maybe that's what we need—a neon pounder that just.
I'll just put it up like this is one right in the corner. I got a little corner.
Leave it.
I don't leave it. I'm gonna leave that
Wesley Snipes and White Men Can't Jump, where he says, "I'm just gonna leave it hanging."
This one right here, folks. I can tell you right.
Show her the bottle again?
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, show the bottle. This.
I think she wants to see the Pinot Noir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So they want to see the Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir. This is the Siduri Pinot Noir from Willamette Valley, right there. And that was a 2018. So, and now we're going to the Don Ramon. Now, this is by far one of the hottest wines in this price point. And we're talking
it's
about
not even a price. There's nothing else in this price point that can compare.
Yeah,
it's like its own price point, really.
Yeah, so you got that nice little. So this is 2008. So it's half Tempranillo and half Grenache.
It's like 75. Yeah, 75, 25.
Okay, so 75 Grenache, 25 Tempranillo. This is just a yummy, yummy, yummy wine, folks. It sells so well, and at 15 minus your discount, so it's going to get it to $12 a bottle. Take advantage of this. Take advantage of $12 a bottle for this yummy, yummy red pouring wine.
We know when we spend just a few bucks in Spain, whether it be $10, $15, $30, our money just goes farther. And again, not for least of it's maybe the cachet, or maybe Spain isn't as well marketed as some of the other areas in Italy or France. Maybe they're a little late to the game, or because of just different reasons, maybe. But to me, what I love so much about Spain is, as we talked about on many shows before, is they covet old vines. So literally, even though Spain has acre-wise more acres under vine, they produce way less wine than both. I won't say way less, but less wine than both Italy and France, just because old vines old vines make less fruit or less clusters, and less clusters therefore make less wine. So anyway, as a wine consumer, it's great because when you're talking a winery that does wine from vines that average 30, 40, 50, 60 years versus a winery that replants every 20 to 25 years for economic reasons, you really can't compete. So this comes from an area just south of Rioja. So we think about Spain. If you know nothing about Spain wine, Rioja is probably like the Bordeaux or Napa Valley or maybe Tuscany, right? It's probably the one area that almost everybody's at least heard about to some degree, that focuses on Tempranillo. Well, this is an area just about 30 to 45 minutes south, kind of the capital of Aragon in Zaragoza. Right, Zaragoza, right, close to the town of Zaragoza. You got to say it like that. And a little place called Campo de Borja. And Campo de Borja is an area much like, let's just say Lake County, or let's just say Paso Robles, an area that for many years was thought to be an area that, you grew wine, but you took the wine and drove it at 3 a.m. up to Napa Valley and blended it in 25.9%. because you had to get your Cabernet or get as much, because Cabernet will cost you so much to grow 75.1% or whatever the blend had to be. So Campo de Borja was just like that. They actually drove a lot of the Tempranillo and Grenache and a little bit of Graciano and Balbal and Mansilla and some of these other traditional grapes all the way up to Rioja to blend in. But what's great about it now is the sort of genie's out of the bottle, so to speak. So these different wine owners and somms about 15 years ago started going, Campo de Borja, the Grenache is unfreaking believable. Yes, they grow a little bit of Tempranillo, but that's not the name of the game. Grenache is the name of the game. And really, you can find some producers that are just family-owned, 120 plus year old vines for pennies, guys. Pennies on the dollar. And guys, as Danny said, this is a price point of its own just because of everything that goes in it. The age of the vines, it actually does spend some time in oak barrels, so this isn't just a sort of a quick to you wine. And that's what I love about this particular wine. You know, it's from the area, one of the hot spots for Grenache in Spain. I mean, certainly Grenache permeates Spain, but in Aragon, which is some of the oldest clonal varieties of Grenache, and for this price point, guys, minus the discount, if you're not getting like 6 bottles or a case of this, or know somebody, or if you know a guy,
split it with some folks, or at $12 a bottle, it's a great deal, and a yummy wine. And I tell you, this is perfect for this time of year. That Grenache just adds that nice heavy mouth feel, and the Tempranillo just smooths the tannin, so it's not overly tannic.
Yeah, I mean that Grenache going to use that kind of that nice plump, almost kind of that grapiness. I mean, if that's the thing, I know we've said that on the show before. And I promise this is only the second sip of wine I've had. But Grenache, that's why I love Grenache. It gives this kind of this nice fruity component, this kind of grapey thing. And Tempranillo, as Danny said, it kind of gives you that like little spice component, a little of that leather, a little of that kind of briary note, maybe a little of that kind of dried strawberry in the background. You know,
I definitely taste that.
It's a fun wine, guys. And for those of you that are kindred spirits like myself and Danny and Vanna, I love big bottles, and I cannot lie. Stay tuned. I know we're actually going to do a show. We're going to do a show, so stay tuned. I checked before the show. We have like 5 bottles left. So for those of you that are savvy shoppers, and I've already got a few 750 bottles. I mean, 750 is for the average everyday drinker. But a 5-liter bottle. I mean, I have a few of those guys. Text Danny. I know Danny's like, TC, you're spitballing here, but I got a few of those left. For those of you that are VVVers, the veterans, the veterans. Well, remember, I think episode 4 or 5, we put a bottle in the back. I think I almost knocked it over a few times. I think that's why Danny got me out of the shop. He's like, TC, you're breaking too much shit in the shop. I'd rather you just come in the house, so that way I can just, I can just pay for it instead of having, expense Andy for half of it or whatever else, right? But this is a fun wine by itself. I know you could probably get a few extra bottles in terms of what the 5-liter is, but the 5-liter compared to what you can get for 5-liter Napa, guys, will be one less digit spot. So a fun little a wine, guys, that's good now. I know we're kind of back past the holidays, but hey, springtime's coming. Valentine's is coming. I mean, whatever excuse you have to open up some wine, I have some people that love to drink the bottles, and actually some of them just want to drink the bottles and kind of they have these cool Pinterest ideas. They want to do lamps, and I'm like, hey, whatever you do, you know.
So if you want the 5 liter, it's $95. $95, you'll get your 20% off.
It's like 7 bottles of wine, or it's like 7 bottles of wine, something like that. So again, guys, comparatively speaking, you'd probably come out a little bit better with the 750s. But who wouldn't want to go home with a little wooden box of one of these guys? That's just a nice wax cork that has the same little label on it. And Danny can attest, just a beautiful bottle. I mean, this isn't just a 5 liter for the sake of being a 5 liter. It's a kind of a fun, cool little bottle that we only get a few left. I was surprised we didn't get rid of all of them during the holidays, or I should say sell all of them. But hey, guys, we're after the holidays. Again, this is the rapid fire show. So guys,
we got to move on.
Make sure you got this, but the 5 liter bottle.
You want the 5 liter bottle? Put it in the comments below. I can get that in the shop for you. We'll just take care of it then. So, gotta move on. Gotta move on.
Moving on.
We're just gonna talk about this.
We're gonna talk about this one just real slow. So, guys, Tomasi, I think this is a wine that needs no introduction. Everything from, I swear we will do the Prosecco at some point, to the Pinot Grigio, which we've just done, to the Amarone, to the Raphael. Oh my God, to the I'm drawing a blank here, the Rompicolo, which is the Sangiovese blend. Guys, I would say Cabernets. I wanted to say wines from Italy, which is saying a lot because you hear folks drink up some Italian wines.
Yeah.
But this little Puglia Tuffo, this little single vineyard Tuscan Cabernet from Tomasi, based up in Valpolicella, which is known for Amarone, and we can certainly get you some Amarone. And again, savvy shoppers, 20% on the Amarone if you can.
We're gonna put Scott down for a 5 liter Don Ramon.
It's the shabby shoppers, man. I'm telling you, you guys are out here. I mean, you guys are. Scott knows where his butter's bred. So
he said he's gonna share. So he's got
bread's. My dyslexia is starting to kick in. After
it's because you're sitting beside a
that's really what it is.
We actually are kind of dyslexic on this camera. I think I'm blaming it on the camera.
Blame it on the camera. It's fine.
Camera. Yeah. So anyway, guys. So Tomasi is as just wanted to really wrap up because I know we're doing rapid fire. This is a Cabernet that is just fun from front to back, guys. I mean, this is everything bookended from that kind of nice dark cherry component in the middle to kind of on one side, you get this kind of dark plum cassis all the way to this, just a little bit of a spicy, maybe black pepper kind of a thing on the other side. But again, in very small nuances on the book end with that nice kind of cherry core, I would say with that wine. I want to say only like 6 to 8 months, less than 12 months in oak. If it does see 12 months, it's mostly neutral. So this is a wine that's, hey, they bottle, as soon as they can, you guys drink it. You guys have drank so much of this wine. I don't know how many times we ran out. Every time. This is why it's on this show, because Danny's like, how much do you got? Luckily, we have like 20 cases.
Just landed.
Just in case.
Landed.
We have forklifts just in case some of you guys have itchy trigger fingers or whatever. I don't know if you had to buy less Christmas presents out there, but maybe buy a case of Cabernet for yourself. But I think as I was about to say before Scott dropped the bomb on the 5 liter was, for any Cabernet, I'm going to go ahead and say this, and Danny, you cut me off, but for any Cabernet, not just for mine, but I would say any Cabernet you guys have in the shop, for what your customers are looking for, right? From your novice, hey, Danny, I want to drink a Cabernet, to your person that's, hey, Danny, I've had most of your Cabernets in this price point. Do you feel like this is something that kind of checks all the boxes, not only for your more discerning buyer, but maybe for your just average everyday buyer as well?
I can tell you there's several people in the shop when they're kind of like, oh, I know, I've been drinking this, I've been drinking that, and I'll say, hey, throw this in the repertoire, and they throw in the repertoire, and they go, oh my gosh, this is so good. And I go, yep. And then they typically always leave with an extra bottle. So they might drink one in the shop, they always leave with an extra bottle of this. And
you got something California already like, I get it, but this is something different. This is something you can break out for the party. Yep. Cabernet book lovers, put a brown paper bag over it. I get, this is something that'll hold its own. And quite frankly, for that price point, what are we doing? Sub 20 minus
so
the
it's
discount?
Going to be $18.40 with the discount. So ridiculously good for that price. So I don't want to talk too much about it because guess what? It's up on the. Go ahead and buy it. This does not need a lot of.
Find a 120-year-old California winery sub $20 that puts as much as they put in there. I'll wait.
I know. So we're gonna stay in Italy.
Let's stay in Italy.
We can't open that one either.
Yeah, we can't open this one because this is something that is a special wine. I think, and Danny and I actually talked about maybe even doing a deep dive in this portfolio. But this is a fun little wine, the Terra de Viesco, Renota Volta. Yeah, and that just means the king. Basically, it's Giuseppe's father, which is really one of the preeminent makers of this varietal Aglianico. Now, this is for all you wine geeks, wine lovers out there from Terrassi. So this is, if you want to think of Italy, think of the boot. Now, you have the toes. Now, the toes would be Calabria. If you go up a little bit further on the opposite side from the Achilles heel on the front side of the foot, maybe low shin, high ankle, wherever that area. I flunked out of medical school. What can I say? But anyway, that part is Campania, and one thing Campania is known for, or sort of infamous for, is Naples. And of course, Naples have cleaned itself up over years, but certainly still has, in some degree, a little of that seedy aspect and a little of that Cosa Nostra kind of thing. But if you go a little bit further inland in the foothills of the Apennine Mountains, you find this little area called Terrassi, which is one of the few, and I say few, capital F, few DOCGs, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe Wikipedia me on this. It has the fewest DOCGs in all of Italy. I think only 4 DOCGs, and Terrassi being one of them. And most of the wine made there, it's made on the coast, right on the Amalfi Coast. You have Sorrento, beautiful areas, a lot of limoncello, but quaffable, drinkable wine, everyday wine. But if you want to talk about wines that will hold up to the Piedmontese, the Tuscan, the Viennese wines, this is the wine to do it. Aglianico, which is dark in color, but has this nice, beautiful, nice streak of acidity to it too. So it's not like a big clunky Syrah or a big dry tannic Cabernet. I mean, this is a beautiful wine and a very age-worthy wine too. 2010.
So 2010. So it's already got age on it. It probably could age easily another 5 to 10 years if you want to sit on a couple of bottles. I am down 2, and I can't get any more. This is another one of those this is it kind of moments.
And so for you, those you want to take a little gamble, I mean, again, not only do you love Italian wines, but this is
8 bottles.
8 bottles.
I started with 12. 8 bottles. So some of this is already sold.
Yeah, and so I already got. I think you've already sold a few of these.
Today.
I was going to say
today.
You texted me how many you had, and you're like, it's already going.
It's already today. It's already
standing
going.
by with a whip, almost gone.
So the 12 bottles I have in the shop, again, now we're down to 8 bottles.
Yeah.
8 bottles. So that's why we couldn't open it tonight and drink it with you, because I only have 8 bottles left.
But a fun little wine. It's got a little of this, and I know if I say this, it'll throw some of you off, but it has this beautiful, this dry tea leaf, maybe a little funky, earthy note that you love about European wines. This little mushroom truffle, even, and it comes from this small little 10-acre vineyard that was planted in 1952, if I'm not mistaken. But a beautiful little winery. But guys, Aglianico, don't sleep on that. For the inner wine geek, the inner wine nerd in you. Yeah. Fork over. I mean, God, less. I mean, what'd you say?
It's 20 bucks. 20 bucks. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you search it on the internet, this sells for 30 to 35. So you're already beating the internet. So
let's just go ahead and stick in Europe, maybe.
We're gonna stick in Europe.
Yeah. So I mean, even though, guys, we would normally, if we were tasting this wine, which we're not, we'd probably do this towards the. You want to taste it?
Go ahead, open it.
Should we do it?
Go ahead, because I got this will be 11 bottles. I'd have 11 bottles left after this.
What a guy!
But
what a pal!
This is just so good. This is just too good.
Yes, I love that.
I gotta look at it as this is just too good. This was a Danny pick for Virtual Vines.
So there it is.
And so I guess
I'll take it. I mean, that's.
So you're now we're in the high mountainous area. I mean, like straight up cliffs of growing vines for this. It is big. It is bold. It is rich. It is to me, normally I'd say a food wine. But when you get temperatures and the chilliness, this warms your soul. I mean, that is what kind of wine this is.
Iron fist, velvet glove.
So let me hold on. As I talk about this, let me take one bottle out of inventory. So nobody.
Well, and if we don't sell it tonight, and hopefully it might last the Mackey's household by the end of the night. Before the bottle's gone. But you might be able to try it at a loaded grape near you, maybe sometime soon. If the bottle doesn't.
You might be able to try it.
The emphasis on the word might.
Yeah, it is absolutely worth the upspend. This is the most expensive bottle we're showcasing tonight. And this is $50 a bottle.
Watch me break the cork.
Don't break the cork. Oh, look at how pretty. Just look at that pretty cork. Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that color. Look at that color.
Yeah, the color.
Here, let me. Here, you pour, and I'll pour my glass there. Just because not to geek out on the color tonight, guys. I want to geek out on the color.
On this one, you got to geek out on the color. This is a wine here for those who are looking for that. Oh my gosh! Look at that color. This is the wine that, because it's not. A Parat is not something that everybody pulls off the shelf. This is very much somebody who's gotten into wine, has moved up the wine ladder, and has said, hey, you know what? Get me something new. I'm willing to go up a little price point. And this is absolutely the wine to grab. I pulled this for somebody who had a birthday.
They call you or text you.
And they were like, "What was that? That was
they're like,
good."
Yeah, they're like, I just thought it was going to be like a nice Toyota, man, and you all of a sudden just got me the Audi A8 or something. I pushed the gas and just.
Yeah, it's actually here you go. Thank you, Kevin Smith. It's $58 online. We are at $50, and you're getting 20% off. So
yeah,
and now I only have 11 bottles, which I still haven't finished taking it out of inventory. So I need to do that before you guys jump all over that deal. But
I want to text my wife.
Text the wife right now.
Just be like, can maybe? I mean, I know we have credit card for Christmas. Santa Claus coming in. Davey has some more of this vintage. We have no more left. Can we get some more of this wine?
Yes.
But for our Babat guys, our good friend Christoph, who works for Ventus, which by the way, back to back 5 years, however many back-to-backs that is, wine and spirits importer of the year because of Tomasi, because of Chateau Montelena, because of Gigal, because of Ponzi, because of so many great brands. This is one of those gems in the book that they don't talk about because we don't get a lot of. It's from, as Danny mentioned, Priorat, which is in the heart of the Catalan region there. It's this little area in the high mountains surrounded by Montsant. Now, Montsant is the area that they make, I won't say necessarily cheaper wines, but wines that are more approachable price point. The Bulla, which actually we sell in the shop.
We sell a lot of Bulla.
The Bulla.
Actually, that's Bulla and Brecca is another two wines we have not done on virtual wines that will be coming.
And Brecca is the baby brother for Brega, and the Brega people love the Brega. Oh my God! Which coming to a wine shop near you in February. I think I just heard that today. But guys, this is a wine from the high area, and Caragna is what they would call it. Is the name of the game. It's people know of that varietal from the Southern Rhone as a blending grape. People know of it from Provence as a grape, traditionally a 50 or so % grape in an Aix-en-Provence or a Bondil style rosé, or even a red. It provides that kind of dark fruit that like extra, as Danny said, a little of that pepper, just a little of that eucalyptus on the back end of it. This beautiful like dried spice, but just I don't know, just dark, inky. For you petite Syrah lovers, for you Syrah lovers, absolutely would love this wine. But this actually comes from some of their oldest vines of Carignan vines in Priorat. As Danny said, thank you for opening this bottle, but it's 14%. I mean, this is something that they're picking late in the season. I mean, they're picking late October, but the Carignan only gets to about I think on the website they were talking about maybe 22, 23 bricks, which is very low because Zinfandel and Lodi can get to almost 30 bricks or 28 bricks, right? So this is something at 14% is not going to knock you out. This is that classic. I know it's a cliche, but iron fist velvet glove. Yeah. This is that it looks heavy. It starts off heavy, but it finishes silky smooth, and you want to go back for another sip.
But you know what I'm saying? It kind of just warms you up. Even it's not the alcohol warming you up because it's not 16%.
I think it might be the heat in here. You
want to turn the heat down a little bit, put the air conditioning on. This is just a really, really fun wine. And I'd love to kind of talk more about it, but we have to move on.
Yeah.
We got to move on.
Rapid fire show. Only bottles of that.
We still have half the show to go. And I know this is going to be a little long, but we're moving along.
All right,
here.
So just a real quick touch on Malbec. Nothing new there. I think episode one or four, one through four, we did. I think it was this one with the Pazila. Now we've done the Fazio
just recently, and we did this one
really early. The Paolucci. So really, of the three, for those of you that have had that before, this is the one that really splits the difference. The Pazila in terms of flavor. The Paolucci is the lightest. The Fazio is the darkest. This is the one that kind of is that nice everyday 5+, maybe 6.5. out of 10 tannins, right? Beautiful wine made by Laura Catena, 4th generation Argentine Italian winemaker who does the Tikal, does the Luca, does the Catena wine, which is a huge undertaking. But these are all single vineyard Italian or Italian descendant growers. Obviously, the name
in Argentina,
in Argentina.
So it's actually the Pizzella family that does it. It's right here on the thing. And if you ever go to La Pasta's website, they have a great pictures of the farm and everything.
And another Vine Connections find like the J Pais. So if you love the J Pais, another great Malbec, guys. I mean, what can I say? This is a Malbec that's not over the top. It's not too tannic. A nice, like I said, like 6 or so out of 10 a tannin level. Just a great everyday Malbec. I think when we did this initially, it was like 4 or 5 cases, and it's a lot of competition for Malbec. This is one I think almost since day one, or maybe since close to day one in the shop. You guys have done a lot with this wine.
We've done a lot with this wine, and continue to do that. I want to say on in a weekly basis, we're always throwing 3 or 4 onto the shelf. This is at $19 minus your 20%, so I guess that makes it down to like 15.
Yeah,
something like right there. So that's a great price for that. So if you're looking for something, in that Malbec Argentina part of the world, strongly suggest that. I was actually about to do the La Porta Malbec because that sold really well. We just did on the Christmas thing. I was like, but people just saw that, so let's remind people of some stuff.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a
while. Just get a little refresher and go. Yes, I remember that when it was delicious. So,
well, speaking of refreshers, I think one of the first suppliers, or maybe the second supplier we had on live from South Africa, from just outside of West Cape, at like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, was David from Cedarburg Winery, guys. So this is just a one that some of you probably still may have. Some of you may not, because again, this is something that almost every time we do Cedarburg, especially like the Bucatrab, people are like, oh my, I forgot about that wine. I forgot about Cedarburg. Don't forget about Cedarburg. It's like Dr. Dre. All of a sudden, you forget about Dr. Dre, and he drops an album every 3 or 4 or 5 years, right? You're like, damn it, Dre, you did it again.
We continue to sell a lot of the Chenin Blanc. We continue to sell a lot of the Syrahs, just straight Syrahs.
The Bucatrab has its own little following.
It has its own little following. We sell a lot of that. And I just thought from that tasting, and this particularly sold,
it was the hidden gem.
It was the hidden gem, and it sold very, very well. I had to reorder twice on this right after the show because I got the order in for what everybody ordered, and people wanted a couple extra bottles, and then other people heard people ask for bottles, and next thing you know, it was like 3 orders later, just trying to get caught up on this particular wine for everybody that wanted it. Absolutely, probably one of my all-time favorites that we've done on the show.
Red blends are hot. California permeates, right? This is from South Africa. Yeah. No Pinotage here, so this is Merlot and Shiraz. Shiraz, they're getting a lot of awards for. David said, hey, that's what we're submitting. That's what we're getting all the oohs and ahs for. Sauvignon Blanc is what we drink kind of when we're cooking the food, but on a daily basis, what we drink when we're watching, I don't know, what was it, rugby maybe, or cricket or whatever else they watch. I know it's maybe soccer maybe. He said this is what they watch, or excuse me, drink when they watch rugby and things like that is the Merlot Shiraz, because it's bigger than Pinot Noir, but it's not like their Shiraz where you almost need like lamb chops. You need like some mushrooms. You need some potatoes or carrots. This is something, guys, with just some nutty cheese or maybe some cheddar, and then maybe some nice aged cheddar or something like that. Maybe some crackers with some sea salt and some, this guy's charcuterie board. Maybe some little pepperoncinis if you're feeling spicy or something like that. Get the peppers and the sausage but this is a beautiful red blend, guys, from high up, protected by the South African government. It's a nature preserve, basically, is what it is. When they say where the deer and antelope play, literally antelope go jumping through this vineyard. I wish you would send me a picture of that. But a beautiful winery. We just did Fair Valley, which is a beautiful, heartfelt philanthropic project that they do. But Cedarburg is their winery, founded in the late 1800s, guys. But David, which I hope we'll have him on the show maybe again in 2021. 2021. He might be covering an eye again because they just came in from the club. But as Danny said, this was the gem, and I'm so glad we were able to throw this in there because this is the sleeper wine.
Yeah, it was such a sleeper wine, but it is absolutely delicious. Nice berries, fruit on there, like the blackberries and raspberry. It's just a great drinking wine, especially for if you're looking for reds this time of year. Down to 21 minus your discount. So remind me of that. Minus 20% is 1680. Guys, if you're looking for a great red blend for under $20, that is it. Yeah, go ahead and open this one.
Open this one. Yeah.
God,
I was going to say,
Vanna's,
yes.
You were not going to open this
one.
Vanna said you got to open this one.
Oh,
gotta
open this.
But if I can just say a little bit about Cedarburg again, guys, sustainability and integrity. I mean, this is a winery that gives back as much as they sort of take, as if I can say that. But I really it's like Daniel Tosh. Don't hear a lot about the charity work that I do because I don't do any. No, but these guys, they don't talk about it because they do some, and they do it because they don't do it to say they do it. But David, when someone actually asked about the sticker they have on the bottle, he was very reluctant, and I'm very modest when he talked about their philanthropic work that they do, which is really to say something. So anyway. Speaking of red blends, we had to go to Cali.
We had to go to Cali. Going back to Cali. Catherine said this was one of her favorites from Virtual Vine, and Barb again loving this the
Cedarburg.
The Cedarburg Merlot Shiraz, and this is a fun one to Next up, I mean, I'm telling you right now, we're talking about the hits. We're bringing them. This is the Ghost Runner Red. We just recently sold a lot of this when we did this back. When did we say? November, October?
Yeah, it seems like forever ago.
Forever ago.
It's like the Wizard of Oz. It's like this wine was there, and this wine was there.
Yeah, I think it was right around Halloween. We did
this. I think that's what it was. Yeah,
because it had Ghost in it, so we went with it. But not only because we've drank it before, so we knew it was good. A little bit of Zinfandel in this one, which I know there's a lot of Zin lovers that come in the shop. So if you're looking for a red blend with Zinfandel in it, this is it. This also has
a campfire wine. I mean, this is the burger with a big old hunk of like Gruyere Fontina cheese, sauteed onions, mushrooms, whatever kind of, let's just go ahead and say it, fancy mayonnaise, aioli, I don't care what you call it. Like someone said the other day, they're like, aioli sounds like what you call this guy in front of grandma. Like you want to call somebody a-hole, but you're saying, like, Steve, you're like, wait a minute, Steve's coming over. Steve, hey grandma, Steve's a real aioli. But anyway, but guys, this is, when we talk about pit pounder, not to be, I mean, guys, this, if we can not be funny and say pit pounder, I'm being serious. This is a sit by the campfire. Is that a little smoky on my clothes, or is that the wine? This is a fun Zinfandel, a little Tempranillo actually. They do that. It's whatever old vines that they can find and kind of put together from this company, from really North Coast and a little bit of Central Coast fruit that are these old head train vines that are really anywhere between 50 to 60 plus year old vines, as Danny said, Zinfandel based. This is everything that you want in spades. This is that, that spicy, brambly, jammy, juicy kind of little flavor that you love. A little of that vanilla, definitely some vanilla on the back end. But yeah, I mean, this little, just a beautiful, like almost,
I love the blackberry on there. Right off
charred flavor on the back end, like a little charred brioche kind of a thing on the back end.
Oh, this is so good. This makes me want some barbecue. It's totally.
It's
good
like
barbecue.
You put your buns on the grill, and then you're like, damn it, I forgot, and you took them off, and you're like, damn, 10 more seconds that have been done. You come in, and you're almost not proud, and you take it, you're like, that's pretty damn good. Like I got it. I did, because there's a fine line between char and burn, right?
Yeah, there is. There is.
We didn't talk too much about like TC's favorites. You said a few of mine. This is definitely one of my favorites.
Okay, yeah. Oh my God. I mean,
we didn't say like specifically your favorites, but I mean.
Well, so far, I mean, the things that we're doing tonight. I mean, that's God. As we talked about, Danny, that is a wine. That Sidori is something I could drink every day of the week. If I have company coming over and I have to pour wine for lots of folks, that Campo de Borja, that Don Ramon, again, I challenge people to find something as good and as flavorful as that.
At 15 and under, and then 12 bucks tonight.
I mean, and not to quote a wine we don't have a lot of, the Aglianico is a fun wine. You don't get to taste a lot of Aglianicos. There's not a lot out there, as I said. Terrassi, they don't make a lot of fine wine there. I mean, they don't. You really have to search for fine wine, but when you do, you find something that is just unbelievable. And quite frankly, that Tomasi, to me, if you say Tomasi, I'm there. So Tomasi Cabernet, guys, if I can get Tomasi Cabernet at 20%, I'm just buying 6 bottles and putting it to the side. I mean, because I know how good it is. I'm probably buying other things and drinking because I just know how good that is. And then I'm waiting for Tommy, Billy, Tammy, whomever, because I'm like, okay, I know they like a good Cabernet, but I'm not sure where, what style maybe a Cabernet. That is something that you're almost guaranteed everybody will like. And of course, it's hard not to like that pre-rot. I mean, that pre-rot is just silky smooth,
so smooth and yummy.
But I mean, again, honestly, guys, and not to be like a politician about it, I could really find something about almost all these wines. I mean, I know some people have asked, and people are like, TC, have you really? I mean, no, guys, we do this show for you guys, and there's been some wines that I'm like, you know what, it fits a great price point. It's really true to form. Maybe I don't drink maybe A all the time, but I think it's a very good varietally correct. But I think really pound for pound, everything that we brought in 2020 have been more winners than we're batting more than 300, right? We're getting the hollow. I mean, we're working a little better than Ted Williams, right?
I can tell you right now, based on sales of these items,
and these specific, these are all stars.
These are all stars. These were all stars over the last couple of months.
And this was Vanna's all stars. We know if you love Vanna and you want to get her, my grandmas would say good graces. Her good graces. If you want to get her good graces for what it's worth, this is the wine to pop open at Loaded Grape and say, Vanna, have a skosh of this with me. Don't tell Danny. Say it's just grape juice, and you'll be happy, And the customers will be happier as well. So
that's why I wanted to open a bottle. Just in case you come in tomorrow or Wednesday, we have it open. You get to taste it again because this is one that will. Even on Wednesday, we'll be tasting.
This has just got vanilla all over it, guys. I mean, this is just kind of like this kind of.
I've been called worse.
I'd love to talk more about it, but we got to keep on going.
We got to keep on going. We got to keep on. Well, let's just go ahead and say, speaking of Zinfandel, let's
just go talk about this
real quick. I mean, guys, there's really not a lot we have to say about this because this of Zinfandel, the section of Zinfandel, let's just go ahead and say the price point of Zinfandel. This is probably the thing that you almost have just always had. We probably don't even really need to talk about this wine, but we figured we would just do the brother-in-law thing and say, hey, guys, hint, 20% off. You like this wine, you're already buying this wine, you've seen people buy this wine, and you're like, well, I want to try it, and I've been scared to. This is the time, 20%, you guys can get it. Hullabaloo. This is the Chasing Lions, folks, guys. I mean, this is this is some of the this is Parcel 41. This is Rock and Vine. This is some of the really some of the best bang for bang California wines, I think, that at least that we have delivered. And again, I think as you have seen in the shop, sales wise, I mean, just about everything from this company, it's home run because they know what you guys like. But Zinfandel, again, a Zinfandel that's not just either Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity or just like burn your nose bourbon like too much or aged in bourbon barrels. This is a great little Zinfandel, right?
I feel like whenever when I'm like out of town or anywhere, just at a restaurant somewhere, and I see that hullabaloo on the menu, we always
people love it. Yeah. I mean, when restaurants, were a thing, hopefully 2021 is better news for when restaurants were a thing. I had several restaurants, by the glass. I know Zinfandel can be a kind of an odd BTG for restaurants, but I would almost always pitch Hullabaloo. And honestly, I would have some people that would reluctantly not buy Hullabaloo because they said, TC, no, we've seen it at the Loaded Grape. We've seen it wherever. We can't buy it because they have it. Two reprints later, they're like, TC, guess what? We're putting Hullabaloo on the menu because there's just nothing we can find that's as good. Or that supplier X ran out 2 months ago and we can't get it because we were only able to get 2 cases on closeout and we ran through the whatever. This is something, again, not to be hyperbolic about it, Zinfandel at the price. I challenge a lot of Zins out there from California to hit all the notes that people are looking for this price point. And guys, 20% of 18 was at 14, 13 and a half, 14.
It's $14.40.
$14.40, 14 and a half bucks, guys.
Yeah, it's for under 15. This is probably one of the best Zins we have in the shop.
Yeah, I mean, this is something. Again, guys, I know I've said it a few times, but really that one, the Don Ramon, the Twin Islands Sauvignon Blanc, and maybe the Viognier. I mean, those are the ones where if you're just really not sure. We've done a lot of wines. If you're maybe watching this in retrospective and kind of skipping ahead, hopefully you watch this part, or so somebody tells you about this part, because those are the wines I would say just over deliver. And quite frankly, I think one you said is 880. We'll do maybe I don't know if we'll do.
We'll try. We might not do a recap. It's just too much.
Too many. All right, so real quick, guys, we had Gary. We had the man,
the
legend.
Go back and watch that show on YouTube if you haven't. I mean, it's really good.
Gary, I mean, I saw he just got another award. I think,
Go ahead, crack that open too.
Oh, let's crack it open. Yeah. Boom. Look at this guy. This guy. That pre-wrap is going right to his head.
No, I know.
Because he's like, we're not opening but 2 bottles.
Well, I lied.
I love this guy.
But this right here, the Full Bore Red, you guys absolutely have loved it, latched on to it. Again, the cab sold well, both the Estate and the Vineyard Select. We did a little bit of the Zin that sold well, but the Full Bore Red continues week after week to fly off the shelf. I can't keep it in there, so I'm like, we got to put. First of all, we had to pick a Gary Eberly wine. The Syrah.
Talk about best of. I mean,
the Syrah sold really well. That was so. But this Full Bore Red, if you're looking for a red blend this time of year,
for what it's worth, it's California red blend, everything in a nutshell. And they really invented a category, and I'm not saying they invented red blend, but it's a non-vintage red blend, and it's kind of unique. Almost everything that we've done tonight, actually everything with the exception of the other than category, has been vintage dated. Now this is much like a champagne. I know for those of you that tuned in last week and talked, and we did some of the bubbles. We've talked a little bit about that. But what's great about this wine, and for those of you that watch the Gary Eberly show, is, Gary said, not to say I would have barrels left over, but this is something I started off as a wine club wine, as a tasting room wine, as something I would watch football with, a little Zinfandel, a little Sangiovese, a little Barbera, a little Tempranillo, a little Syrah. And around 2008, 2009, when the economy was what it was, people were asking for really the best value. And this wine emerged as this thing out of nowhere because people really didn't know what to think about it, because it was not only this red blend of other than grapes. It wasn't just a Zinfandel-based red blend, but it was a non-vintage red blend. And from a really reputable winery, a lot of really just red blends at the time that were marketed as such, that weren't just like Cane 5 and some of the really higher ends, were kind of just kind of run-of-the-mill, maybe this or that or the other. They really weren't the flagship wines as some red blends are today. But Full Bore is a wine, a little homage to the name Eberly, which is Ebor, which is German for small bore. So as you see on the label, a little homage to that. But Gary, again, more than we can say in the Rapid Fire show, but the guy had a he's almost like Forrest Gump. We're listening to his life, and I'm like, we don't talk about the wine. Let's talk about you for a while.
I know. We had to get some Robert Mondavi stories in.
Oh my
Michelle
God,
just said, hey, it says it's out of stock. Nope. Guess what? I just fixed that. You guys are somebody bought some. There's more inventory.
Buy them out, guys. Before we even start the show.
No, well, I didn't realize when I looked earlier, I kind of put up a base estimate on what I think we would sell. Obviously, we sold more than I thought of the Full Bore already. I know I can get more, so I put more in there. So if you're looking to check out with this, it should have updated, and you're able to add this to your cart now, because we do have plenty of inventory on this. I didn't think we were going to go through 36 bottles. So there you go.
Well, that's
what happens with 20% off, and somebody sees a wine that they like. That's what the show's about.
And honestly, again, guys, I know we've talked about it previously, and we'll talk about it again. And I think Danny said he'll extend that discount for the next 2 days for any Eberly wines. If you guys want to call them up and say, hey, I love the Viognier, I love the Estate Cab, I love the Syrah. Guys, we can do that as well.
Yeah, let me know.
I would say pound for pound, this is the one. I think as he said, this is his everyday just wine that they would drink at the winery as he's walking around greeting people, wants a glass of, outside his Cabernet, because he loves Cabernet. But this is his wine, I think, that he would probably drink on a daily basis. And again, he just said it just kind of gives you everything of that cherry to blackberry, just this little, just silky smooth finish. And that's what I love about it, because it's not an emphasis on oak or heat or even weight. It's just a wine that you're like, that's a damn good wine. I want to take another sip of it.
Yeah, no, take another sip, because this is really, really good.
Pit pounder, porch pounder.
Porch pounder. I've let porch pounder up.
All of my favorites. Like, he must pay more attention than I thought.
Whoa, there you go.
So there you
He's
go.
listening.
There it is. I pay attention. And again, the only reason Vanna's not on, well, one, a little rush today to get everything set. So with so many wines and everything, but two, she's definitely not. Yeah. So.
I'm not.
The website says it's 25 down to 23, so it's 20% off the 23 then. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
go. Even better.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, guys. So I mean, again, Eberly is just fantastic. I know we're almost just over limit. So are we talking about this one just for a second?
We have 4 wines left. One wine and 3 in the other category.
There's been lots of you sticking with us. So guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Raise a glass. Let's see some happy faces, some comments,
some thumbs up.
For those of you sticking with us and are still here. And again, that's why we continue to do the show every week, and have done the show, and again, with your support, guys, we'll continue to keep on doing it. So again, guys, this is a wine. Let's just go ahead and say 60 seconds. I mean, this is a wine. We don't have
to talk about this one.
I mean, let's just like flash it. It's like what's that? What's that like? Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this one.
Dun 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 dun. Da-da,
yes,
it's like 2001 Space Odyssey. All I gotta do is just do that little show, that little kind of show. So anyway, guys, Juggernaut Cabernet. Danny, you want to just? I'll let Danny just talk about this. I mean, let's just go ahead and say what this has done in the shop. I mean, comparatively speaking. For sales.
I think the last time we had this on the show, with a discount, I never thought the day that I would order like 10 cases of anything, especially in one sitting. That's what we moved. So thank you so much for that, because that was early on in COVID, and
that was aside from the 2 cases that you're already like ordering every week.
A case and a half about that we order every week from people coming in the shop and just pulling it off and drinking it. We had.
Go ahead and crack that open, TC. I'm just.
If the wife wants it, she can.
There
you go. See,
Vanna gets what Vanna. See, that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
That's
a great answer.
It only took 3 years.
Yeah, getting there.
I got my eye on that Bloody Mary mix. Slam
but this wine needs no introduction. It is probably more the medium to heavy cab that we have in the shop. Drinks really, really well. It's actually made by the folks at Bogle. This is their kind of a reserve category for their wines. It's stellar. It's delicious.
Stealer.
It really is. And the folks that have had it, you go ahead and throw in the comments how much you love it, because I know you guys drink it all the time. So if there's people on the edge, and yes, you get 20% off of the off of this tonight. So getting it at $20.
And a lot of competition for cab, but I think we nailed it. I mean, there's a lot of cabs we did, but between Juggernaut and Tomasi, you guys, for those of you that only drink cab, only love cab, we get it. We hear you. Those are 2. Guess what? You're going to be proud to drink or give or receive any of those bottles. And again, I know we're over the holiday season, but guys, that is something that I would open or adorn for any table, for any occasion, whether it be a Tuesday night or a birthday. God, it seems like every time I'm on social media, there's a lot of birthdays in January. All of a sudden, everybody's born all of a sudden.
I would say, as we finished up the wines here, and now we're going to go to the other category with a couple of favorites that did very well in that category. Again, these prices are good through tomorrow. Send an email to friends that maybe didn't watch the show and say, hey, shop this website. Like there's some great deals here. Be sure to use the coupon code because if they weren't watching tonight, and I know we had a great turnout tonight, is really incredible. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Danny's able to ship now. I can ship to Virginia, Texas, Florida.
We can work on that.
Different shipping costs, but hey, we've done
it with these prices, saving 20%. If they're not able to get some of these wines, this is a great deal. I mean, look at just on the Parat. I mean, it's 58 minus your 20 so it's 50 minus your 20. So like on that one, let me get my little calculator out here. 50 minus the 20%. So that gets you down to $40 a bottle,
Yeah.
and it sells at other places for 58. So
I mean,
even if I had to ship that out to somebody as a gift, late, oh hey, I forgot to get them a present or whatever, we can do that for you.
Just try to get a pre-write sub that price anyway that doesn't say Kirkland on it or something, Kirkland brands or something, right?
Good luck.
So,
yeah. So
anyway,
so these are the wine portion. Now let's go into the 3 things in the other category that sold crazy.
we'll stick with the wine-based.
Yeah, so we'll stick with a wine-based one. The first one up, which was one of the ones we started off early on, and that was the Turn Me On Vermouth. And then you can do a little label, does that little cool little thing when you spin it around with the hearts.
I'll show the Pac-Man. Oh, there you go.
Sorry.
Show I'm eating the hearts.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Yum, nom, nom, nom.
No. Oh, I'm losing the thing.
There you go.
No.
Yes.
Pac-Man. Yeah, so this was the Turn Me On Vermouth. Folks, you guys absolutely love this. Only a little bit of availability on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it comes and goes. It's a wine-based other spirit. They do cardamom, they do some nutmeg, they do some cinnamon, and the reason they call it Turn Me On is they basically do what they call the love spices, the things that would, you would get, or the romantic spices, as they so the love languages, right?
The love languages.
Yeah, I mean, so this is something that are things that well, hey, it's named Turn Me On, so I'll let that speak for itself.
Hey,
right?
Valentine's Day's coming up. It's not that far away.
Thanks, Danny. That's what I was trying to say.
Let me say with this, and I drank the rest of the bottle of this. I think when we did that after that show, a little bit of ice cube.
Yep.
In a glass.
And being fortified, it's
garnish it with some olives, and you're done.
Yeah.
That's all you need. That's how good this is. Yep. That is how perfect it is.
It's not like a Martini and Rossi where you just pick up some from Food Line on your way home and you're like, all right, well, we had to have some. I mean, guys, this is something. And hey, I wouldn't say this. Any discerning cook should tell you, if you wouldn't drink the wine, you shouldn't cook with it. Right. So guess what, guys? If your recipe calls for some vermouth, this is a vermouth. I know it's not the cheapest vermouth, but guys, your recipe will be. Sorry. I need to put that. I need to put that up there. So even though vermouth, we think of Italy. This is actually from Spain. Zaragoza again. Zaragoza again. That's what I'm
this is.
We open up a restaurant called Zaragoza and just do tapas, like small little plates.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, TC.
Zaragoza.
Let's do it.
We don't even need a big place for that.
No, not with
tapas.
There's a place right next door to the Lord of Grape. I guess we'll just go ahead and get that.
But knock that wall down.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm putting this up here so you guys can see the amazing price that we have on this.
But a fun little wine, again, as Danny said, by itself. So many cocktails out there. One of my favorites is a Manhattan, and you can't have a Manhattan without the red or aka sweet vermouth. But what I love about this one is instead of being as sweet as some of those traditional Italian vermouths, it's a little bit drier, and it has a little bit of, as Danny said, I think it's more of those winter spices, that nutmeg, that clove, that cardamom. Good by itself, but man, you throw a little skosh of like Woodford or Maker's Mark over the rocks, or maybe just strain it in a nice martini glass, throw a couple Luxardo cherries, maybe a little twist of orange or something in there. Everybody's like, "Damn, man, did you go to mixology school?" Like, no, I know good drinks when I drink good drinks, right? So
that is it. I'm telling you right now, this doesn't involve much. So if you're looking for a quick cocktail, and let me tell you, with the limited availability, I have 12. That's it. This is another one, and now with your discount at $14.40. I mean,
and not only so cool. It's not only good, super awesome label. And guys, a cool little glass cork with a heart on it. I mean, come on, guys. As we said, Valentine's coming up.
Valentine's coming up. This is a good little.
Come on, guys. Capital Cute. Let me go ahead and say that. I mean, I know that's cheesy, but
everybody's. Hey,
sell the cheese.
But I'm just saying, if you're looking for a cheap little present for a coworker for Valentine's Day, right now, save right now. Throw that in a little heart bag, and they're gonna go, "What's this?" You're like, "Oh, it's a little dry vermouth." Just throw it over some ice, and then you're, with or without a garnish, you're good.
Well, bourbon's high. It's like one of the hottest things out there. You can't get bourbon anymore in ABC stores, or at least the Buffalo Traces, right? It's tough to get bourbon. So again, if you know someone that just you've given them every bottle of wine known to man, this is something you can give them a bottle of, because guess what, guys? This is something you can have with a Manhattan. So. One of the last based wine spirits things, because the last thing we're doing tonight is non-alcoholic. This is actually wine based, and it's great for the loaded grapes of the world, the ones that want to have a beer and wine license, but don't want to have a liquor license or don't need a liquor license, or maybe for catering places that go, you know what, we sell more catering events, for wine and things like that. We don't do as much liquor. We don't sell liquor, or maybe, that's not in their forte. So this is basically a Bailey's knockoff. I'll go ahead and say it, but I'll do the Pepsi test, not only because I'm biased and I sell Maloney's, but we did a taste test when we first got the product a couple of years ago. And I'll say, this is something as good, if not better, than Bailey's. It's a little bit less boozy for those of you that are conscious about such things. For some of you, like, why would I want to take less booze? I get it. Bailey's is like 22%. This is 13%. That's why Danny can actually serve it at the wine shop. But for those of you that want to come in the wine shop and want to have something a little different, maybe you've shared a bottle of wine with your significant other and you want to have a little skosh of something fun, maybe Danny, I'll talk him to keeping a bottle of this in the fridge somewhere. This is something, guys, you just have maybe just a little skosh of this before you leave, or maybe sit by the campfire or something like that. Perfect. Or, again, making, I know it's not traditional in a White Russian, no, it's just cream, but throw that in a White Russian, or throw that in a little nutty Irishman, or whatever the case may be, right?
Through the pandemic, we're throwing that in their coffee.
Yeah, I mean, of course, coffee is definitely coffee.
Yep. And what I'll say is, just so you know, this is another one. I put 12 to 15 bottles in to start off with. I didn't think we would go. We've already gone through that, so I've updated we have plenty of inventory. So I've added more to that. So folks, go ahead and
we just got a shipment from Ireland. It's from
Ireland. It's Ireland. It's Ireland.
We got the St. Patty's Day coming up.
St. Patrick's Day. You don't even need it. But this is one. I know there's some fans of this. At $15 minus your discount, so that gets it down to $12. So don't sit on that, because at $12,
something fun. Again, it's kind of it's other than category. When we first did it, it's one of the first, because that other category was something that just grew. Again, I think the first show, and not to say we know what the hell we're doing now, but we definitely didn't know then. And that was just we just kind of threw a few things out there, and you guys were buying the hell out of these other things. And the vermouth. And I think the first show we did this, we did 3-4 cases of this.
Oh God, it was like three cases it was right off the bat.
I was like, who in the hell is buying all this Irish cream?
It was
but
crazy.
It's great. I mean, hey, that's why we have it. And you guys have sold some throughout the year, because again, it sort of solidifies us to say, hey, we made the right decision in picking up a really good product, and it's from the good guys over at Banks Channel, which we get Cedarburg imported from, and Sombras del Sol, and the Foliography, which I know is another great wine that you guys love to do as well. So anyway, last but not least, 17, 20 wines in an hour and a half?
20 wines.
20 wines.
20 bottles.
Let's do it.
There we go.
The really other than, so for the hangover, so after you've drank all 20 wines, tasted all 20 wines, you need something for the next day, right? You need that, we all need power hour. We need that hair of the dog. Literally hair of the dog. Sometimes hair in the glass, depending on, whatever, if you need that. So this is something, guys, I know there's so many Bloody Mary recipes out there. So many people like to make it. Who's got time for that? I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that.
Nope.
So many folks not only love Old Bay, I love Old Bay. I almost find any excuse. Not only put it on seafood, but like potatoes and corn, I love to put Old Bay on. But when we picked this up, I was like, are you kidding me? Because I love it. I think we have so many expats from Maryland and the DC area that obviously Old Bay is like a rite of passage, obviously, for those folks. But guys, it's perfectly mildly spicy. So for those of you that are very sensitive to spice, you're going to find it nice and spicy. For those of you that want it more spicy, obviously go crazy. Throw some cayenne pepper. I don't care. I mean, throw some whatever you want. But we were, again, pleasantly surprised how much we sold of this. I mean, it was something I'm like, hey, Danny, I think it was just something we threw in last minute. I think it was something like, Danny, we have a bottle of this. There's going to be people who want Bloody Marys. There's going to be, those Bloody Mary drinkers, those Clamato drinkers, Clamato, whatever you want to call it, drinkers. And guys, you guys crushed the Old Bay. And that's why Danny said, let's bring back the 2020. The Old Bay. I mean, remind
Old
them.
Bay. Hey, it was selling great. I've actually shipped this Old Bay to Seattle. I've shipped it to California. I've shipped it to Las Vegas. So folks find it and they go, hey, I can't get this anywhere near me. And so hey, it doesn't have any alcohol in it. It's easy to ship too. So you just send it out. So it's a fun little mixer. I know Tanya's used it several times to make little cocktails here in the morning.
Nobody loves Bloody Marys like I love them.
Bloody Marys.
Yeah, I'm not a big Bloody Mary fan.
Or gazpacho, guys. I mean, I know it could be a nice little base for gazpacho, a little soup or whatnot.
I was gonna say about cooking with that. I wasn't sure how that would work. But I guess it does work.
It would totally work.
There's all kinds of fun little things. Actually, speaking of recipes, I saw where people froze small ice cubes and did it over vodka, like a pepper vodka. So as it warmed up, so as it warmed up a little bit, you got a little essence of tomato without straight tomato.
Maybe I might like it that way.
Yeah.
I might try it.
Try it out. With extra hot sauce, maybe.
Maybe a little hot sauce to cover the tomato.
Texas Pete does the body right.
So I'll have ketchup, but I just straight tomato. I don't know.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Well, guys, hey, any questions or comments? God, that was a lot to digest.
There was a lot. We did it. I told you, rapid fire, folks, and everybody was like, "Oh, can TC not go down a rabbit hole?" We managed to do it.
He kept me back.
We kept him back a little bit. This was just a fun little show.
Just going back to a little Sadori, guys. Something that's open. But guys, I mean, any questions? I mean, guys, we went from $8 to $40. We're breaking the internet, I think, with everything.
Yeah.
This show continues to be a show that we try to bring value upon value upon value. It's literally the night where the shop's closed and Danny's like, you know what? This is basically like a tasting for you guys.
Yep.
We're going to do a deal since we don't have to turn on the lights, wash glasses. Mm-hmm. It's an extra deal. So if you're a savvy wine buyer, which again, we're trying to create savvy wine buyers. These are some great buys.
These are great buys. These are great buys. These are great wines. Like I said, send the link over to some coworkers. Send the link out to some friends. Say, hey, this is the day. Like tomorrow, go ahead or I'm going to tell you right now, I will be, wine club members and everything else. I'll be sending out like, hey, one more time, take advantage of this. Don't miss out because this is just too good of a sale.
4 or 5 liter bottles of this.
Yeah,
we started the night.
We sold one 5 liter.
I'll have Danny update the website, but guys, that's another something to not sleep on. But thank you guys so much. I mean, that was awesome. 2
little housekeeping things.
Let's do it.
One, which I didn't do in the beginning of the show, so we do at the end of the show, and that is the hooded sweatshirts are in.
Look at that. Yeah.
Look at that. So very nice. This is the back of the hooded sweatshirt right there. And then the front has our other logo right there. And let me just tell you, I know you can't feel it. It is feel that, TC. I mean,
it's
like a snuggie. It's like a snuggie.
It's like a snuggie inside. It is so nice and soft. So you need 45 points in the loyalty program to get one for free, or it's $45, and you can pick one up in the shop next time you're there or when you're picking up your wine. I know there's some people that have some points that can pick one up today or tomorrow or Wednesday. All the wines ordered will be available Wednesday at 4:00. That's the other thing. Remember, Wednesday at 4:00. Got to give TC's guys some time to get there and drop these wines off and give me time to pack them up because we've already had a bunch of orders. So thank you so much for all your orders and everybody who orders tonight. Thank you so much. Also, the Saturday is our 3rd anniversary of the Loaded Grape, and we're doing a special tasting throughout the day in 2-hour increments, starting from noon to 2. And I say 2-hour increments, it's probably an hour and 45 minutes because we need to be able to flip tables. So if you come in and you want to hang out, you have about an hour and 45 minutes, and then we have to have you leave so we can make room for the next group as they show up.
You have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Exactly. And so for wine club members, it's $12. For non-wine club members, it's $15. Each flight is 5 wines, and you're going to get a cupcake to go with it as well to celebrate our 3rd year anniversary. Well, we thought, like normally we just do a big sheet cake, but with COVID, it's kind of like cupcake. Real easy to get individual. No one's touching anything. We're good,
Socially
Cupcakes knew 2020 would happen. Cupcakes waited their turn. All of a sudden, cupcakes became a thing, and all of a sudden, boom! And then cakes were just. Speaking of sheet cakes, didn't they say Costco stopped selling those or something like that?
Yeah, I think they did because it's no one's buying them right now.
Cakes are like Blockbuster right now. Like Blockbuster.
Yeah. So there's two ways. There's two ways to go about getting a reservation. I can tell you the 4:00 hour is almost gone. But there's two ways to go about it. You could either call the shop tomorrow and leave a message, or and say, hey, I want to sign up for this time. That's the easiest way for tomorrow and the next day if you want to sign up. And if not, when you come and pick up your wines, you can also try to sign up for a time slot. So basically, over the whole day on Saturday, we'll taste about 75 people. Yeah. That's what we have the space for, and I can tell you that we've already signed up quite a few. So hop on it. Let us know if you want to reserve a time so we can hold that table for you. Again, go over to loadedgrape.com. The big thing is put in the coupon code virtual20 to save 20%. So that's how you get to save your 20%. So be sure to do that because it makes it a little difficult afterwards to try to get money back. But just try to make sure you do that. So thank you so much. We're going to work on next week's show, so we'll get that posted tomorrow.
And some supply. I mean, guys, a lot of big things coming up.
A lot of big things.
A lot of stuff coming up.
A lot of big
We're
tastings.
hashing out some details, but yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Coming up. Maybe even a little side thing here or there. Stay tuned on social media and email.
Valentine's dinner to sign up for, probably possibly starting next week.
Yeah.
Just hashing those details out with my brother-in-law. So we'll do that at the porterhouse again. So that'll be a fun.
Might have to do two tastings.
Actually, I'm trying to work it that it's the day that they're closed.
Okay.
And so we'd have the whole restaurant. So I can do it the whole restaurant, spread everybody out, and be able to do the whole restaurant. So
you have to bring your karaoke mic.
We'll bring the karaoke mic, and so we'll be able to do that. So that we'll have information on that coming up. We'll also have again a couple other tastings that we're looking to do, including Rombauer.
Yeah.
Is one we're really working on, and that might be a special tasting. So we're working on that. It might not happen on a virtual Vines. We're actually thinking about doing it.
Cougar Juice certified. Yeah. Mombauer. If you're a mom, know a mom. Everyone. I mean,
And I'll tell you the hidden gem in the Rombauer line is because everybody drinks the Chardonnay, but the hidden gem is actually that Zinfandel. That Zinfandel is
and again, and not just. Just to be a cheesy salesman here, but the 18 vintage, which is what we're on. I just recently did it in a tasting. I had some people going, dude, can we get more of that? I'm like, yes, you can. And so we recently just got some more. This 18 is in Fuego right now. I think we actually have a little bit, just a skosh of their El Dorado. So again, stay tuned for details. I think I'll have Charlotte might be able to get Reagan Rombauer. I don't know. I know she's she's big fish, but we'll definitely get Charlotte, who is basically the East Coast person, or Jeff Papa, which I know you guys have met in the shop. Love Jeff. But we'll definitely get somebody. So you don't have to just see. You don't have to see this mug.
You won't see us. We're going to let them take over. Yeah. But the real hope is to be able to do that again virtually, but allow you to pick up tasting kits the day of, so you can actually drink along on.
And might have a few half bottles availability. Not a lot, but might have a few half bottles.
Or if you want to have a couple and you want to
just try something.
Or get two friends or together and just do half bottles as a fun way.
Speaking of Zinfandel, I think we might have some Zinfandel half bottles. Yeah. Not a lot, but we might have some.
So we're working that out to figure out pricing and get that all done for you. But that will probably be posted here in the next week or two. Again, we're working with Winte to possibly do a virtual Vines. We're working with a couple other folks to have on. So 2021 is just going to be as big as 2022 for the show. We're really excited about
maybe we'll go on location. I think when the weather turns. I mean, I know we did one on my porch and one outside in the hot tub, and maybe we need to do like on location. Like, I mean, I know it's based off internet, obviously, and lighting, of course. But maybe we might take the show on the road.
Take a show on the road. See, we've talked about all kinds of stuff. So again,
this fancy new fire pit.
Yeah, I got a fire pit and everything. So
lines around the fire pit.
Porch pit, so we might be able to take it outside if it's not that bad. Who knows?
Maybe Daniel will tell a ghost story after a few.
There you go. So, well, I want to wrap this up now. So thank you guys so much for all your support.
Some diehards, we got some people out there. You guys are diehards. Love it.
You guys are great. So cheers. We're gonna raise a glass to you and happy New Year. May 2021 bring us out of COVID and into a more prosperous time where we get to actually spend time together. Because I know that's the one thing that we were missing in 2020. So hopefully we can spend more time together and be able to
pair with marshmallows.
We can find wines to pair with marshmallows. That is easy to do. So thank you so much for tuning in, supporting Virtual Vines. We look forward to seeing you next week. I'll have what the theme of the show is posted tomorrow. Remember, hey, share this with your friends and coworkers. This Virtual 20 discount code, because saving 20% on wine after the holidays. You know that people probably went through the wines that they had, so let them restock a little bit with some at a great deal. And then we look forward to maybe seeing you celebrate with us on Saturday with one of the time slots. So let us know soon so we can get you signed up and we can have all that together. And we have a great little lineup of wines for that tasting. It'll be more like a flight. We'll just pour them all out in front of you, and then you can drink at your own pace. So, but it'll be easier on us, than that way we're not bouncing from table to table so much. So thank you so much, TC. What's our
Hey, guys, from Danny, from Andy, from Vanna, keep on tasting.
Keep on tasting.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.